Hello VenBooks users. This week I'm going to show you how to use the order details report. And just for reference, all this data you see here is all generated randomly from some source that generates random data. So don't think I'm showing stuff that's actually real people. And unfortunately, they use addresses all over the country when they randomly generated it. So if we do end up looking at a specific order anywhere, it might show that I drove 6 states away to do a signing and mileage was extremely high, but it just wasn't worth it to go in and fix it, because we're just using this for demonstration purposes too. Plus, I'm sure a lot of you would love to make some of these rates on here on all your signings as well. But all right, so the order details report, you go to the top of your screen, click on reports, and then order details report. So this is your access to all your data. And we have a lot of preset reports on here, so I'm going to go through this and show you how to use it and show you some tricks and features, and we'll take it from there. So first, let's go through these options here. Show outstanding orders only. Pretty self-explanatory. Outstanding orders in order that you haven't received the payment for yet. And so if you just want to see those on your report, like you want to see who still owes you money so you can go chase it, then you just check that box. If you want totals row to show on the bottom of the table, the results from the report, go ahead and check that box. Now these two are special reports. You're not going to use these all too often, but the client performance report is going to show on one page, or it could be multiple pages if you work for a lot of clients, a list of all the companies you work for, and then it's going to show all your stats that you select on here that you want to show for each one. And we'll get to that in a second. Well, let's actually go over that right now. So if I did do this, we'll run this report right now. Now keep in mind, some of these don't, if we do a totals row, too, so you'll have the same issue. You can't really add them up. So like agreed fee, it would show the total of all your agreed fees that you got from that client over the time period we select. But what about name? Like, what's the total of all the names? Well, it's just going to count them. So it'll be a count, and which it should be the same number for a lot of the all these different data points that you can put on the report. So just keep that in mind. If you get like a interesting looking number, it's probably just counting up the total number of values, because they're not addable. Add upable, that's right. So let's pick a date range. Let's just pick this year so far. This year. And if you haven't played with this yet, if you want a specific range, sometimes it's nice if you want to do like January through May. Just click on this year, so it'll automatically set January 1st through then present day, and then just go in and edit the latter half of it. It's just quicker than having to edit the first half and the second half of the date range. And then you just click custom range. Then you can either do this to go back a month. So if I'm going to do what I said, I'd click May 30, and it would. And if you want to go back a month real quick, you can just click on the 30 here. It takes it back to April. Just little tricks of working with this. But we'll just go through present day. So August, we know it's 22nd, and then you have to click this green button to apply that. So now it's your new date range. And then it's companies. You want to select all companies usually, or you can do it for a specific company, but since we're doing a client performance report, it doesn't make sense to if you're looking for a comprehensive report, you want to choose all the companies. And if you do it just for one report, it'll just be a one row report. It'll just be the stats for that one company. So we'll do all companies. So the hiring company you don't really need to add, because that's what it is putting all the hiring companies is inherently part of this report. So I can knock that off. If I left it on, it would just give me a total of all the number of orders that hiring company had that you did for them. Since they're not addable, it would just be a total. And then order ID. See, none of this makes sense for a report. So how about agreed fee, balance? We can even say amount received. What's something else on here that might be nice? Some of these don't apply, like net profit wouldn't make sense on this one. We'll just run it with these. This is good. So then will just click, if you don't select this, it'll just assume you just want to see it in your browser. So here we go. So this is totals up, all these, and amount received. I haven't received very many payments on my dummy data account here that I use for making videos, so that's why this column isn't showing very many. But it looks like the some of these I did a little bit. And yeah, so this is what it's going to look like. I didn't click the totals row. Let's see what would happen if I did that. Oh, I did click totals row. Because I'm not paying attention. They separated that table here. They did that because if there was, this is only a one-page report. If this was a 5-page report, the totals would only show up on the last page. You might want to see them, even though you're flipping through all the pages of the report, you might want to see your totals on the first page. So they split that table off and put it down here. I forgot that for 1 second, which is why I didn't see that right away. So that's that one. Now let's do the detailed clients report. Notice you can't check on it at the same time. We have to uncheck that and check this. And let's go and add a couple fields here that maybe make sense. This is a detailed report, so each page is going to be a company they work for. They did a bunch of orders for over the course of this time date range, and so they're going to show each order as its own row. So having things like some good order number would be a good one. Let's see, where's order number, and maybe paid or unpaid. We'll see how that plays out. Just for fun, we'll put the hiring company on there, even though it'll be at the top of the report anyway. And if you have any trouble like pulling this over, it just won't slide over, just go the other way. Just pull it this way then or something. I've had that happen to me before. Just pull the other one the other way. Now on this one, if you select preview, it won't let you. If you, I just noticed making this video a moment ago that if there's nothing selected, that it actually crashes. So they'll have that fixed, so you shouldn't have to deal with that. But if you select preview, it'll say you can't do preview of this one. It has to be a PDF or a CSV file. So we'll watch that happen by selecting preview here. It says at the top here, we're unable to create this in preview form, so we're going to switch to PDF. We get a PDF, and we'll open that up. See if I can bring that down. Alright, looks like we got most of it in the frame there, so let's go over this. Now keep in mind that this was going to show these fields in the order that you put them in on the report generation. So here you can see we put these in this order. Again, you can move around just by grabbing them. And notice order ID is over here in the middle, but on the report it is not. And that is because it'll always put the order ID at the beginning when you're running this particular report. It'll always have this numbering system on the side here, and then order ID will go second. That's its default for this client, detailed client performance report. So it didn't duplicate it over here. It was smart enough to just put it once over there. So you'll see how this works. So these are individual totals on each page for each company. So in this hypothetical case with these dummy orders, during this year to date, there's $2,020 worth of orders. They haven't paid us at all yet, and that's not true for Amrock. They pay very good. They're a good company. You can see how this works. This is a great report for maybe also seeing who to send Christmas cards to at the end of the year. So you see which of your bigger clients are, so you know who to get the nicer gifts for and who to just send a card to, thanking them for their business throughout the year. But that is something that you will definitely find useful, and yeah, otherwise pretty straightforward. So let's uncheck that. So now we're just doing a standard report. We'll leave the totals row. Let's say we want to see all our outstanding orders for this time range, so which would be the year so far, and we'll leave these same boxes in here and run that, and we'll go back to preview for that. And each report or each order should be its own row. So here's all those things. You can click on the order too, and it'll open it up in a new tab. And again, the total of all the pages is this is all my orders, only 47, barely fit on here. If I did 25, you can see how this is handy. I can switch between the pages, but the totals still show here on the bottom. So this is a nice report. This is everyone who owes you money. So this has a $10 balance on there. That's why it's showing on here. If that was 0, it wouldn't show it on here. There's no zeros in balance because this is an outstanding orders report. If I did that without checking this box, I'm going to get a much bigger report now. How many orders we got here? 48. I guess I only marked one page in the order during this year so far. And where is that? This one right here. So I marked that one as paid. I remember making a video for that saying mark that as paid right away because you probably got that $10 bill right away. But anyway, that is how that order details report. So now we're going to get some fun stuff. Of course, you can always dial it down by company. I want to just see AMROC orders. So I'll just show you my AMROC orders. And again, you can add more features, move these around. These are your columns on the report. You can make a CSV. You can, on the report, actually create a CSV from there or a PDF from there. A lot of stuff you can do. Here's where things get fun. Let's say, let me take a look at this real quick. So these are all over the map. That's a nice middle number. How about over greater than 150? Let's do that. So we're going to just limit the results. Let's say I just want to see orders with an agreed fee that are greater than or equal to, I'm going to say 151, so I can leave out those 150s and run that report. Oh, I turned it. Oh, sorry, I had CSV picked. Run that again. All right, so these are just the orders that were over 150. You can do less than. And we'll get all those orders that were under under 151, which is 150 and below, which happened to just be for $150 orders, because I believe, oops, those AMROC orders, nothing was below 150. They're just for 150s. But anyway, that is how these filters work, and you can do that with anything. Like, let's see, like check receive date, can do with dates, whether an invoice was sent by miles, which one that's, let's do paid, unpaid. Paid, unpaid. So is it equal to yes, it was paid? Or is it equal to no, it was unpaid? So I believe all these were, oops, I did it again. Those are all no's. So if we ran it for unpaid, it would be all of them. And if we ran it for paid, it would be none of them, just because that's what these are. I can't think of a better one here. Completed, uncompleted. This should be a good one. So if they're complete, there are 4 of them. And the rest of them are incomplete. And we didn't have a complete or incomplete field, so we actually can't tell the difference between these. With the table here, we have it up here, complete equals 0, which means incomplete. But let's add that field so we can see it on there, then run it. And now it's actually showing those, and if we toggle that, there shall be yeses. So all the ones that are yes. All right, the last thing I want to show you is, you probably see this on a lot of pages, this is user report profile. So this is like, if you liked all your settings here, you got all your stuff in the right order, and you're like, I'm going to run this report again. You don't want to have to come in and set all that up again. And just like earlier, we had the client performance report, the detailed client performance report. You can create profiles for each one of those and just jump between them and run the reports and not have to go through and set it all up. So if I like this one here, I can say create new profile, give it a name. This is, well, this was our AMROC paid, unpaid report. Save. It's a good name for what we were doing here. And actually it's just an AMROC. I'm sorry, I renamed that. I should rename that. That should be the AMROC complete or incomplete. I switched them. So anyway, you can come over here and switch between them. And if I make these changes, let's say I do that, get rid of this, and like, oh, but I like that report from earlier, and then go boom, and it brings it all back. So you'll find that useful for saving these report types that you put together. And if you ever have any Excel goofy, just refresh the page. Sometimes it gets a little goofy. So that is how to use the order details report. You have access to all your data. You can pretty much add every field on here and create a gigantic report and put just a date range that goes all the way back to the beginning. Before you put your first order in through present and all companies, and you'll pretty much export all the data you have. In that situation, I would advise go to a spreadsheet, CSV, and generate a report, and you're basically exporting all your data. And if you wanted to port it somewhere or you had some other use for it, that would be how you do that. All right, well, thanks for hanging in there with me, and let me know if you have any questions on this or anything at all. We're here to help you.